Hello, my name is Dirk Sporliter. I'm the Woodland Manager for Dronley Community Woodland. Dronley Wood has a size of 50 hectares and is located 5 miles northwest of Dundee, close to the Angus villages of Ochterhouse and Muirhead. The area has always been very popular to local residents, dog walkers, nature lovers, and was subject of a government-funded community buyout in 2019. As a community, we now manage Dronley Wood in a wholly sustainable way as a multi-purpose woodland where biodiversity, recreation, and timber production are seen as equal priorities. We have more than 20,000 woodland visitors per year, but we want to develop Dronley Wood into a beautiful multi-purpose woodland, creating a long-lasting legacy for future generations. We involve the local community and Ochterhouse Primary School in managing Dronley Wood. We want to establish a strong connection between the local population and their community woodland. We also offer work placements for the Duke of Edinburgh Award and have participated in European exchange programs for forestry apprentices. Many woodlands you can see today have been planted for short-term rotation management. That means that stands are planted and usually clear-felled after 60 years' time. Clear-felling is very damaging for the environment and has therefore been banned in many European countries. Dronley Wood is about 60 years old. The majority of the stands is about 60 years old, and I think the plan would have been there to clear-fell the woodland eventually by the previous woodland owner. So one of the reasons for buying Dronley Wood was, for us, to protect the woodland for future generations. So instead, we now manage Dronley Community Woodland using what is called continuous cover forestry principles. So what we are trying to do is, we are trying to develop the best, healthiest trees we have on site into so-called frame trees. In simple terms, our frame trees, our biggest trees, best quality trees, they develop millions of cones every year and millions of seeds. So what we are basically trying to do is we're trying to open up the main canopy in places. That will allow the light levels to increase and to reach the forest floor, allowing the seeds to germinate and to finally grow into young trees like this. So this process of natural regeneration is never stopped. So it's also opening up bits of a canopy, establishing natural regeneration, and to keep that process of constant natural regeneration at flow. This type of woodland is essential today because it delivers a diverse and stable, structurally rich woodland, mixed woodland, that offers economic as well as ecological long-term sustainability for future generations. It also continuously absorbs CO2, stores carbon, filters drinking water, produces oxygen, and filters dust and soot from the atmosphere. These irregularly structured woodlands, like the planter woodlands, you get phenomenal numbers for them. For example, 1 hectare of an intact planter forest offsets the emissions caused by 62,000 miles worth of car journeys. So these are quite phenomenal numbers. And the important part is that is in woodland which is always there. It's in continuous and permanent woodland, and that is the biggest part of that. We want your help to support the development of 50 frame trees per hectare, which we carefully select. That's the trees which we call future trees. These frame trees will become the seed trees in the future. And these seed trees will secure the long-term future of Dronley Community Woodland. The development of these selected frame trees will be supported by felling and extracting of the nearest competing tree, giving our frame tree more space to grow and develop a large crown and a substantial root system. These individually selected trees will therefore become more stable and form the stabilizing backbone for the entire stand, and with that for the entire woodland. Each individual frame tree will cost us £30 to develop, which amounts to £1,500 per hectare and £15,000 for our initial target of regenerating 10 hectares of woodland. We realize that times are challenging, but any contribution to the ongoing efforts would be very welcome and will help us to preserve the woodland for future generations. Supporting the development of our frame trees is a fantastic long-term investment. Our frame trees will be retained for another 100 or 200 years. In this time, we will grow into a much larger dimension and also produce a lot of very high quality timber. While we do that, we will of course absorb CO2, produce oxygen, store carbon, filter drinking water, filter soot and dust from the atmosphere. We also will produce a lot of natural regeneration, helping us to secure the future for Dronley Community Woodland. Thank you for listening.